I think people can hear me.
Okay.
I mean, I hope so. I hear you.
I believe people can hear you as well. So that is also good.
Right.
Excellent.
And tweet sent.
Tweet sent.
Fabulous.
I'm looking for it. I'm waiting for it. Fastest retweet
tagged.
in the
I got the
West.
tag.
There we go. There we go.
I think so. We're professionally started, ready to go.
Yeah. So I have a question
the
for
promotional
you
work.
guys.
Oh, okay.
I have a question. It's
Uh-oh.
so we're late because I had a food emergency.
A good emergency.
Emergency?
Well, or a good emergency, as I said in my haste. When was the last time you guys had a food or good emergency?
Oh my goodness.
Out the rip.
Last time I had really, really good food, because that would be a good food emergency,
Yeah.
was when my girlfriend took me out for my birthday. We went to this really nice Italian place.
Oh,
It was
hell yeah.
gorgeous. It was
Okay.
really good.
What
That's
did
a
you
good
get there?
food emergency.
Like, it was little, like, so it ended up being like Italian tapas. It was, like, we had like 7 different dishes in front of us. It was great. I think I had chicken wings because, you know, I always have chicken wings, but there was like
Solid
like
choice.
risotto
Mm-hmm.
in, like, there's a little bit of cheese and then risotto, and then that was in breadcrumbs.
Ooh.
And it was probably one of the tastiest things I've ever eaten.
So
That's a pretty good food emergency.
yeah,
Mhm.
this place that we got from today
Yeah.
had these like Parmesan artichoke balls, and you dip them into like a pesto cheese sauce.
Oh no.
I'm dead. It's so good. I'm of
This
no
is-
use to anyone.
It's over. This is Calzone Dan, by the way, everybody. This is a new persona for our boy Dan here. This is Calzone Dan, who gave us all a mini heart attack because in his haste, typed out that he had a good emergency, not a food emergency. Had your boy TBL worried.
It's a good emergency. Why worry?
It was a good emergency, though. He came back and was like, yeah, man, calzones. How was the calzone, by the way?
It was great. It was awesome.
Yeah.
When was the last time you had a good food emergency? TBL.
Last time I had a good food emergency was probably a couple years ago. I think I actually talked about it on the show. It was when I was out doing errands or something.
I remember this.
And like I looked in this parking lot for this defunct mall that's in the town that I live in, and there was this gigantic refrigerated truck that had a big sign out that said it was like 20 ribeyes, $30.
20.
20
ribeyes, $30. All productivity stopped that day.
Yeah.
Errands didn't get done.
You got nothing done that day.
I drive a sports car. That thing said, I passed the Furious around a corner, went right back in there, spent the next hour talking about meat with some meat production company that was selling their wares there, and I bought about $250 worth of meat.
That's a good food emergency.
How long did that meat last you, though?
Oh, it was the rest of the year. I had steak, chicken. There was a pack of pork that I bought from them. There was like some straight from a farm bacon that was gigantic that I got from them. It was phenomenal. Listen, if you're out driving and you see meat trucks, follow them. Doesn't matter what you're doing, follow them.
That
If
day,
you're going to work,
TBL
your boss
was the
will
meats.
understand. We have the meats. That was probably the last real good food emergency that I can remember going through, and it was well worth the time. Well worth the time. Well, all right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 295 of the Planet Destiny podcast, a podcast filled with the meats. We're back once again to talk about a lot of the things going on in the Destiny universe, in particular Trials. Again, saw a whole bunch of changes. Probably gonna spend a good portion of the show talking about some of the new stuff in the Trials of Osiris game mode, but we've got other things going on in PvE. We had the catalyst for the Ager Scepter go live this week. We had elemental shards drop this week over on the Wayfinder's Compass, all of which has just... if you thought our praise for the Ager Scepter last week was a little much, some of them builds have gotten even nuttier with the Catalyst and with Elemental Shards and some of the Stasis builds you can do this week. So I'm looking forward to talking a lot about that. But this week, we've got our usual roundtable of hosts. We've got Mr. Dan Finity, also known as Calzone Dan.
Hi. It's me.
It's Dan.
It's me. Calzone Dan.
Calzone, my favorite of the Dans, by the way.
Filled with eggplant.
Look at him. He's rubbing his stomach like intrinsically. He's happy. That's how you know you had a good meal. You're just like...
You get that
Don't even
spicy
care
red
who's watching.
sauce, you get that eggplant, you get that ricotta and the mozzarella. I'm in.
Proper. That's proper Italian food right there, brother. I am the Black Link, and joining us this week, we have a very special guest host, Addie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. You
Thank
know her,
you.
you love her, Roboticadi. Good to have you on the show this week as we talk about trials and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. But for those who maybe don't remember the last time you were on, why don't you take the opportunity to introduce yourself to everybody who you are? And I mean, if they watch this show at all, we raid you pretty much like
Yeah.
week.
So no, if you haven't managed to stop by one of my streams before, courtesy of Planet Destiny, I'm Addie. I generally do PvE content in Destiny 2. I've been streaming 3.5 years now, based in Scotland, and that's about it. I'm a parent as well, so that's fun.
Mysteries of life.
I love my daughter, I do, but by God.
Aren't they fun?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's every
it's so
parent.
fun.
Yeah. It's literally the quote from every parent. I love my kid.
But dear God.
No, to be fair, no, she's a good kid.
Yeah.
She actually contracted COVID.
Ugh.
Oh, she all right?
Yeah, she's all right. She's tired. A little bit more grumpy than usual, and she was running hot and a cough and stuff. But children are more resilient to this, so yeah. And that's why, like, with streaming, I actually just recently, as Willow went to big school, primary one, so you know, it's her first proper time, and so I'd actually changed time zones, kind of like schedule, because I'm most of the past 3 years that I've been streaming, it's always been at nighttime and she's gone to bed. So now it's daytime, which is why you won't see me on Sundays that much anymore. So she's been enjoying school, and then I've been streaming during the day UK time, which means I miss out on a lot of the US folks, but it's been really fun actually to get into a new time zone. It almost feels like you're going into an entirely new directory because you're meeting so many different people that you've never met before.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's what I do. I just play Destiny. I help people, or I just fool about, and
Same.
that's me.
Same.
And the last time you were here, I don't believe you
Was
were
it not
partnered
side
yet,
quest,
right?
Dan?
Right.
I wasn't partnered. No, I was partnered last November.
Yeah. So how have you enjoyed that transition from affiliated streamer to partner?
Can I be 100% honest with you?
Absolutely.
Please.
We're on
Please.
Twitch. Go ahead. Yeah.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Like I will 100% say this. Like, see, when I was I don't want to say like pushing for partner, but say when we were getting to the path of partnership and we were needing it and everything like that, I know that I was in the mindset of things are going to change, things are going to be awesome. When I get partnered, I'll be able to do this, that, and the next thing. Did that happen? No.
Yeah.
It basically, I know I don't want to sound like, because I know that a lot of people try very hard to, affiliation and then, move their way up to partner.
Yes.
You honestly actually end up feeling a bit more stressy about streaming and stuff, because then you feel like every stream you have to prove why you are partnered.
Yeah.
That you deserve to be partnered. That this purple check mark next to your name deserves to be there. So there's some people that will paint partnership as, you know, this magical thing. I promise you, nothing actually changes. It
Yeah.
isn't. It really doesn't. Like, you know, you don't want to go too deep into like the Twitch monetary side of things, but
Yeah.
like, it isn't until you're hitting big numbers that you can
Yeah.
then start looking at negotiating with Twitch and doing all that kinds of things. But I mean, the other thing is that there's some people out there that would say that this isn't true, but I do believe it is that actually the only thing that I think you find that might be easier when you are partnered is connecting with brands.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right,
as
yeah,
a partner Twitch streamer, you will no doubtably have a little bit more sway on particular brands than you would if you were an affiliate.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I suppose it does mean that, you know, you are dedicated enough to be able to get partner
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So, but yeah, no, it was nuts. Over December time, I struggled a lot mentally. You know me, Dan. You know, I'm very open about mental health and stuff like that. So, you know, for a while mentally, I struggled, and that ended up screwing up my consistency, and it's been it's been a recurring thing over the past like few months and stuff like that. So I'll be honest with you, that has, when you look at it statistically, it has affected my statistics.
Yeah.
But you know, my community is still probably, I'm going to brag here, my community is probably still one of the best communities on Twitch.
Yep.
So, you know, I love it. I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for the community that I had, and I wouldn't, like, on Twitch, sure, but I just mean in life in general. You know, it's you have a lot of people that will say that as a content creator, you change people's lives, but your community will also change your life.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, for the better.
Yeah,
exactly. So.
Yeah.
No, I think that's you have a really fantastic perspective there and a really important message in that a lot of people shoot for that goal of partner because they think it's going to be this world-changing thing. And it is so important to realize, don't look at it like that.
Right.
Just look at it as, you know, the next step in what you're already doing, because chances are you're going to get partner. Things aren't going to radically change overnight.
Yeah.
You got to keep working at it. You got to keep doing your things. So I think your message there is phenomenally important, especially for the people out there who are aspiring to stream, aspiring to become affiliate, aspiring to become partners. It is important to look at that as just being another step and not the end goal.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that you notice is especially when you've got a lot of hype around you, when you are close to partner, you will have the folks that will be in just
for that ride,
to see it happening and stuff, and then see as soon as you're partnered, that will start to drop off. And that's where, like, the imposter syndrome that I know frequents a lot of streamers, that imposter syndrome will kick your ass.
Oh yeah.
Like, I was averaging this last month when we were on the road to partner. I'm partnered now, but now I'm like 30 down of what's going on. And it's like, it's okay. That's going to happen. People are just there to be able to say that
they were there.
I was there.
Yeah.
So.
And then they show up like 6 months later and they're like, you're still doing this? That's great.
Yeah. Welcome back.
So. Yeah. But I mean, otherwise, like, it's been really, really good. It's been nuts. It's nearly a year. The 2nd of November, I got partnered on. So
right on.
I literally nearly shit myself. I was sitting in Discord with my friends, and normally what we did is that we normally had our video cameras on and we were just chilling, you know, the usual kind of thing. And I go to open my email, and at that point I'd been waiting 8 weeks for a response.
Right.
And I was like, I just opened up my emails, clicked it, saw it, promptly nearly shit, and then burst into tears.
Both ends.
just like,
that'd be a hell of a way to go out, I gotta say.
Yeah.
And then all I heard was in the Discord call, did it happen? Did it happen? Did it happen? And then I just screenshot it and sent it, and I was like, this has happened. What? And then for a further month after that, I was like, I'm waiting for the email for Twitch to say, but we're going to take that back. Yeah. Just no, actually, you, yeah, no. We've decided no.
Thank you for your interest, however.
Yeah, the usual.
I've received that I've received that message several times in my life. It's
Oh,
completely fine. No. Sometimes it's like, you decide to get like a new hair gel or something, and they're like, no, sorry, this isn't for you. Thanks. Thank you. But no, we're not.
Oh, the brand new top.
Yeah, exactly.
It
Yeah.
looks amazing on the hanger.
I was gonna get a crop top one time and was told no.
You should. I actually think you would totally suit it.
You know what? Started making my own.
That's right. There we go, Calzone Dan.
Yeah. That's how I get so many calzones in my body.
There we go. Calzone Dan makes his own crop tops.
Crop top calzone Dan.
I'd buy the brand. I'd buy that for $1.
I need you to trademark that pretty rapidly, please.
Yeah.
Filled with cheese.
Like, you should be trademarking as we speak. Well, congratulations on that partnership. You're coming up on that 1-year anniversary there, and couldn't be happier for you, because
thank you.
You are entertaining as hell.
Oh, thanks. I just say shit and hope it sounds okay.
Been working thus far.
Yay.
So,
but good.
How are you feeling about Destiny 2 Season of the Lost so far?
Okay, we all love that Mara's back.
Yeah.
Let's be real. We love Mara. No, she can stand on my foot and I'd be okay with it. Honestly, I think I'm kind of taking it easy this season. Obviously, we all know that it's a 6-month season.
Yeah.
They don't look like they've done anything to lengthen like the seasonal pass or anything like that. It's still out 75, which means obviously it's
like a 12-week,
still
10 to 12 week rotation.
I've been really enjoying getting back into the Shattered Realm. Now, obviously, I'm a massive lore nerd. I love the lore. I love everything to do with the Awoken, how they came to be and stuff like that. And what delights me is that there's so many people that are actually beginning to learn this only because they haven't. Not everybody has the time to sit and read through it all on Ishtar Collective. Let's be real. I have too much time on my hands, so that's what I did. So, I'm really, really enjoying the fact that everyone is actually getting to learn how the Awoken came to be, the distributed. The lore nerd in me is buzzing that all this is actually getting put in the game verbally instead of forcing people having to sit down and read it. So that itself is really good. I'm enjoying exploring the Shattered Realm and all the different little secrets and stuff like that. That's really, really cool. Definitely, I feel like for me, this is probably the best season that they've released since Season of Arrivals. I thoroughly enjoyed Season of Arrivals. It's to do with darkness. You know what I mean? It's it's that whole piece that you're just give me. I wasn't really fussed about Catel and the Cabal. It's we've dealt with the Cabal over and over and over again. We really don't need to deal with them again. I feel like the Taken are getting a bit treated like a custody battle, really, between obviously, Oryx is dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But between Savathun and Zivu-Arath, they're kind of just being ferried from one house to the other. They have different weekends. I would really like to see a little bit more stability in that kind of lore and how obviously they're saying that Zivu-Arath now has control of the Taken. How does she have control of the Taken? How is that a thing?
Yeah.
How I don't understand this. Yeah. What I find really cool is that we basically find out that Osiris has been possessed since Sagira died, which was mind-blowing to me.
Yeah.
Which obviously has a huge knock-on effect with Crow and everything, because Crow's just been looking up to the daddy bird and just been teach me your ways and everything. It turns out that it's been Savathun the whole time.
The whole time.
Who was twisting his mind back when he was Aldrin, even though he doesn't really remember that.
Right.
But, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I am actually really enjoying the season. I've kind of laid off the last week and a half. I'm not going to lie, I haven't even got the catalyst yet for the new gun. And I haven't done like the story mission this week yet. But I'll get to it.
Yeah.
You know, I'll get to it.
Well,
it's just with everything being up in the air this week, I was just like, I don't really want to.
Yeah.
I want to get in and do different things rather than just sit and do stuff. Because to be fair, Astral Alignment.
Say it. Do it.
Just say it.
Do it.
God, it's so fucking long.
It takes a long time.
Why is it so long? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I really love the fact that it's got vault mechanics. Like, that's amazing. That is such a good throwback to Last Wish. The ether one can do one.
Yeah.
Because I don't like that one. Yeah, that one. You just go.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the what was the Baron, the Scorn Baron that had, was it the Trickster?
The one who kept disappearing and had the fake versions. Everybody hates that boss.
Yeah, that one. That one. I hate the fact that that's now
His
an Astral
clone?
Alignment.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that's managed to get in there. I think somewhere along Ziva, Wrath, and the Scorn have come to an agreement. Why? How?
So,
what?
There's some stuff in the Shattered Realm this week that I think you should check out if you want answers to that.
Yeah, that's
should probably play the game if I want to get the answers.
Like, I don't want to say that, but also yes.
But also,
just play the game, Annie. You'll get it. Okay, dog. Jesus.
But yeah, there's some cool stuff in this week's Astral Alignment if you get a shot. Like, let me just say this. Let me say this real quick.
Okay.
Maybe it'll pique your interest. Maybe it won't. But Scorn Fight Club.
Yeah.
So I was planning on going to bed after we finished here. I think I might just go into the Shattered Realm instead.
Scorn Fight Club.
Excellent.
3 words.
Literally the first rule.
I thought you weren't supposed to talk about it though.
Well,
The first rule, Dan.
I wasn't going to. Especially since you hadn't
for
played it yet. And then I was like, well,
listen,
I
the
kind of
triumph for it is literally called the first rule.
is it really?
It really is. I'm not even joking.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh.
But, like, I 100% agree. I actually had this conversation with somebody this week as I was playing Astral Alignment. Like, you know, I like this activity. It's fun and all. I like that they brought Last Wish mechanics. I like that they brought Wrath of the Machine mechanics with the whole carrying the battery and over encumberment thing.
Yeah.
That's all neat. But I wish, as we were getting into the season here and unlocking perks on the Wayfinder's Compass, there was a perk to double the progress towards this stuff so we could get through this in half the time.
Yeah.
That seems like it would be nice.
Something like that would be awesome. Where, like, if when you grab the battery and you bring it up, it counts as 2 instead of 1.
And so it cuts it, and it cuts the amount of time you have to spend in there in half, because, good lord, several weeks in, it's just like that game mode goes on and on and on, and you have to run it so many times to get the weekly stuff from it.
It's Override all over again.
Well,
and don't get me wrong.
I actually felt like Override moved at a pretty good clip compared to, like, Astral Alignment and to the Battlegrounds.
Well, because Override was based on how quickly you were dunking those modes. Like, if you had people who were actually doing that and not just sitting back and and not just killing things, then you could dunk enough modes to get to the password phases pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But with this, it's just there's a set amount of progress you can get with every action you do, and it's always going to take that long, and that kind of sucks.
Like, don't get me wrong, like, Override was okay. I really, really like Season of the Splicer just because of the lore and for facing Curia. But the season itself, though it was really interesting because obviously that was the first time that Vex had actually infiltrated Earth.
Yeah.
So that was like, oh god, you know, just, you know, there's going to be, you know, maybe a year down the line we'll find that the Vex have somehow managed to burrow itself into the Earth and is slowly doing it changing it from the inside out. Calling it now, Bungie. If you do it,
Yeah.
Trademark.
let me know. Come on.
Credit to Addy.
Credit to Addy.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with last season. It was an interesting enough story and all of that kind of stuff. If there's one thing that the lore of Destiny has, if there's one universal rule, I think I've said this on the show before too, but if there's one universal rule that the lore of Destiny has taught, it's that you don't open portals to the Vex homeworld.
No.
Yes.
That's the number one no-no.
Bad idea.
You want to go stick your wang in Taken Juice, that's fine. You want to jump in Vex Milk, that's great and all. Don't open portals to the Vex homeworld. That's the number one no-no.
Asher has something to say to you.
And that thing is, there's a cream for that.
It's in Morse code because he stuck his wang in Vex Milk and now he's a harpy.
Now he is a harpy.
Just say no.
Say no to the Vex Milk, kids.
Yeah, just say no to the Vex Milk.
All right.
But so I mean, getting into some of the stuff that happened this week. So we're talking a bit about Astral Alignment. We're talking about some of the story missions. I would agree with Dan. Go ahead and go through the story for this week because it is pretty
Beefy.
revelatory.
Beefy.
It's beefy. Like we're clearly getting to the end of the story that they had planned for the original 3 or so month push for this season before they had to push things back. We're clearly getting to the end of it because some big stuff is starting to happen in the story there. But I gotta say, I've been enjoying a lot of what they're doing. I'm loving the narrative threads that they're pulling here. I like you, Addy. I'm loving that they're exploring and explaining the origin of the Awoken and like how all of that came to be, because that's stuff that you would only know if you went off and read the lore books from D1. And it's great that it's now being put into the game. And I love the Shattered Realm missions. I think those have been a fantastic addition. They're so chock full of secrets and weird little lore bits all over the place. And every week, as we unlock more and more of the perks on the Wayfinder's Compass, more and more of those Shattered Realms get opened up. Like, we even still have entire sections of at least one that I'm hoping is going to be opened up with the coming reset, because there's like an underground dungeon in one of them, and I can't wait to see what's down there. But I've been loving how week by week we've been having all these kinds of new treasure hunts and secret hunts, and like this week we got the data caches going live in the Shattered Realms. It's cool stuff. I'm really enjoying the way they've been rolling out the content thus far.
Yeah.
It's
definitely a step up before. I think personally, like I think
absolutely.
Aside from anything, I think Bungie really are going straight to strength in their storytelling narratives in game. Which is why I think there's been this renewed focus on PvP. Is like they finally got the good stuff that works, and now they're moving on to the next step in their plan, which is PvP, which is, let's be real, it's about time.
Yeah.
So
It was 2 years. Yeah. It was
2 years.
Painful.
I really wish that, I know we've got anti-cheat now and stuff like that, but if they had said, just a while ago, it's just, we're trying to make our own, but we're finding it really difficult, so we're going to get a third-party anti-cheat until we can really have one that functions. If they had just said that like a year ago, maybe people would be a bit more understanding. But
yeah. I mean, clarity of what's going on is always is always nice to share with the community, and I agree. I think if a year or two ago they had said, "Look, we don't have a PvP focused team right now. We're trying to work on other things. We're doing this whole complete engine revamp. We're doing the content vault. We're moving old content out, new content in, rewriting the game engine from the ground up.
Yeah.
We'll focus on PvP when we have the resources to." I think it probably would have. I mean, of course, hindsight is 2020. Captain Hindsight is the greatest, most useless superhero in the world, but he's right. If they had been more upfront about that from the fore, then I think people probably would have been less critical of their PvP decisions, because it has been 2 years before they really started doing a focus on it. And I think to say that they've done a pretty good job on revamping at least Trials would be an understatement.
Yeah.
Trials has been in a much better state than what it was prior to this season, prior to the revamp, and even after the introduction of the flawless pool last week. which we had quite a few opinions on this show, I think it's still in a much better place than it ever was before.
I'm gonna say something that might be a bit controversial.
Shoot.
I think the flawless pool is a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. For like, I don't think that it should have been put on so soon.
Right.
But I think like the last
Yeah,
like
I can
couple of
agree with
days, like maybe the Monday or the Tuesday, I actually, and people are probably gonna hate me for this, but like it does give those people the chance that, say, like for me, example, me and a couple of friends ran a card yesterday. We got to 6 wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we lost our mercy, and then we lost the flawless match.
Yeah.
It happens, you know what I mean?
It happens, yeah.
And the good thing about the trials changes is that last season I wouldn't be able to do that. One,
Right.
because cheers, and two, because because they've done so much like revamping to the system. A lot more people are just more interested in playing it, especially with the reputation system and stuff like that. That is such a good thing to do.
Yeah.
But the flawless, I feel like the only thing missing from the flawless pool is flawless rewards. I
Yeah.
really think that there needs to be more
Right.
incentive for people to
Go flawless.
actually go flawless
Mhm.
and then attempt to get into the flawless. You know,
Yeah.
there's always going to be aspirational content. You know, like PvE site, that's Grandmasters and
Mhm.
Master Vogue. You know, that's the aspirational content. They're always talking about it. Now, what you've seen, obviously, before Trials was here, you had comp. Now, I remember when getting to 5,500 felt like it was really, really, really hard, right?
Mhm.
And then, you know,
Yeah.
I got unbroken, and then it was fine. And, you know, I just go into comp just because I enjoy comp more than I enjoy sixes
Yeah.
now. The sixes just seem a bit too chaotic for me now.
Right.
Well, and the matchmaking
'Cause I'm
was
a-
kind of like is kind of weird
Awful.
right now too.
Yeah. And then you look at Trials. Trials is the next step up. And Trials was very, very hard. Like for not skilled players like myself, like I can sometimes hold my own. It depends on how I'm feeling. But like I know that there's a lot of people like me that aren't skilled at PvP.
Yep.
And you know, they just go in and they're not gonna be they would also view like comp as, you know, that's a stepping stone. Comp is a stepping stone, and then you go into Trials. And Trials is used to be the aspirational content. Now,
Mhm.
the way that I see it now is that your flawless pool, that's the high tier. That's you want to prove that you're the best of the best, and you want to go around and just you know, you want to show
Smack
your
some folks.
EP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whip it
The
out.
flawless pool is the place to the flawless place is the place to do it. They just need the right incentives. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? And then what will happen is that you'll start getting people are talking about. The thing about the flawless pools is that obviously it cuts off like the carries, the
Yeah.
traditional, like the carries or the helps and stuff like that.
Right.
But then what you saw last week is that a lot of the carries, the carriers, sorry, the helpers and stuff like that, they were resetting the card when they got to 6.
Mhm.
So that they didn't go, when they went flawless, they didn't go into the flawless pool. Now, obviously, I'm an uneducated PvEer, right? But if you then put cosmetics, like, let's be real, we'll do anything for a little bit of destiny.
Absolutely.
Cosmetics, some fancy guns that you can only get in flawless pool. Yes, you're going to have the people that would complain about locking content behind it. But it's like, this is aspirational content.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at Grandmasters. You can
everybody.
only get it. Exactly.
It's not for everybody.
You know, and that's okay. I think
That's
I think there's a lot of people that think that everyone should be entitled to everyone. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, and this is
yeah.
going to sound really combative, but if you are not good enough to get it, you don't deserve it.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
As combative as that sounds, but like, you know, there's people that will. That's why there's people that will help.
Mhm.
You know, like
Yeah.
I help with Grandmasters, and you know there are people that are good at helping with Trials.
Yeah.
So if you've got then the Trials, right? You've got just regular Trials that runs all the way from Friday to Tuesday reset.
Yeah.
And that's just it. You've got your usual stuff, the stuff that's in the pool right now. And then you move to in the flawless bracket, you've then got fancy guns, cosmetics, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's then creating that incentive for more people to keep going, keep trying to get better. And it will also give the people who do the carries more incentive to not reset their card and to actually just go flawless and carry people in the flawless matchmaking. Personally, that's how I see it. I'm talking a lot, I'm sorry. But
No,
like,
that's fine. That's why you're here.
This is why we're here.
I think what it comes down to is that there needs to be, and as much as we know that Bungie is trying their best, and I know it's been really trying the last like year and a half, there just needs to be more incentives to do the end game content. I mean, let's be real. How many PvPers did you see in Grandmasters trying to get an Adept Pally? Because Pally is probably one of the best PvP handguns that you'll have. Like, I've got a quick draw rangefinder Pally, and that is sticky, and it is great. You know?
Yeah.
I know, like, I helped one of my friends who's a PvPer get a Pally, because that's what he really wanted. He wanted that Pally so that he could use it to help people in trials. So to have that aspirational endgame stuff in the flawless pool would take a lot of the sting out of it, as it were. So I personally, like, I've played trials all 3 weeks. The first week I didn't get flawless, but that's because I didn't actually go in the Friday and the Saturday. I went on the Monday where kind of all the sweats were kind of staying on.
Yeah.
And I
You
was
played
like,
in sweat pool.
I got spanked. Not good. I was like, oh, okay. I realized just how mediocre I am at PvP. And then last week I played a little bit. I think I didn't play an awful lot. And then this week, do we want to talk about the zone?
So,
yeah, we might as well. We're talking about trials here, so
yeah,
I might as well.
I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about what you're saying though. Like, we talked about this last week though too.
Yeah.
With Drago, and it's like not everybody needs everything. Like, if you like, there is like an earn it sensibility to a lot of the aspirational content in Destiny, and it's I don't know if it's not necessarily good enough, but if you don't put the time in, if you don't put the intention in to like go in and get better to do it, then like you don't get the prize. And like one of the things, so this past Tuesday I hopped in and I was just planning on I just wanted to get some Ingrams from Saint. I was just going to turn them in for loot because I was like, I like a lot of the weapons that are popping up out of there that I've received so far, and I wanted to try for another Shariah's. Ended up getting a call from Explosion, a streamer here, and ePuds, and an hour before reset, we went flawless. Now, that was kind of an exhilarating time. That was while the flawless pool was active that entire week. I can understand the people who like make content and who do carries and helps, not wanting to be putting that in the flawless pool out the rip. And I think that what they did this week is a really smart, really like really good idea. Pushing it back. Yeah, it's a great compromise.
A middle ground.
It's from pushing it back to Sunday. Maybe they could do that like a Monday reset though. And like, because the weekend, I know a lot of people only have weekends, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, that way you'd have all day on Sunday. You push it to Monday reset, you have a full 24 hours where you could do the flawless pool and then get out. Where that 24 hours would probably be, especially if they added more things to the loot pool, like you're saying, for people who are wanting to gain more out of that
really
system.
That. Yeah,
exactly. Like that 24 hours is their time to shine. Whereas before, if they're helping people, great. But if they really want to go for it, that 24 hours is the contest mode,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The flawless pool is basically contest mode of trials.
Yeah.
It's like you're
Yeah,
just put up
exactly.
against other people that are good enough to go flawless, and it's. I really think that the compromise that they've done is really good.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I've really enjoyed is the fact that you can solo queue and you can go in with just you and a buddy.
Yeah.
You don't, one of the things I think that has really stopped other people from going into trials is the lack of teammates.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
like there's quite a lot of there's a few people that I know in my community that are on PlayStation or Xbox, and we were never able to play together before. Crossplay is a huge thing. I think it is just the ability to just go in and solo queue. Like even for me, the first week I went into solo queue just so that I could try and get better, and just so that I could learn
Yeah.
positioning, so that I could try and bounce off at other people and see how it went. And I won a few games, but like, how often do you really think like a solo queuer, like
Yeah.
3 solo queues, will win up against a 3 stack? Surprisingly, I've won a couple of games just 3 stack against like me and 2 solos just up against the 3 stack. We've won a couple of games and stuff like that, but we've also been stomped, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that there was talk of a trials freelance mode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in two minds about it, because the one thing that they didn't really want, one thing that trials had a problem with, aside from like the rampage and cheaters,
Mm-hmm.
was just the population was too low.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, freelance
Don't wanna
mode
go
would
back to
split
that.
that population, and
Yep.
I don't know if that's going to be a good thing. But then my question is that once Bungie, I don't know if it's still if it's actually been sorted yet, the whole the Bungie voice, like, because I could like me, my girlfriend's on Xbox, so we play together an awful lot, but I end up using the Xbox app on the computer
Mm-hmm.
because the in-game voice wasn't working.
Right.
I know they said that they turned it on, but it
Yeah.
wasn't. Unless they get that fixed, I don't know how much,
Yeah.
unless they can somehow make it so that you will there's a way to protect solo queuers from matching against 3 stacks a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a possible thing to do. But my point is that I'm in two minds about freelance mode, because it does just divide the population, and that's
Yeah.
something that we were having an issue with in the first place. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting conundrum for them to deal with, and that was the topic of conversation we broached last week. We talked about the possibility of freelance, and we had the same issue. Like, one of the big problems of trials before was that the player population was just so low, and if you're going to be splitting it like that with a freelance playlist, you're just going to be getting the same issues that we ran into before. And while we talked a lot about the flawless matchmaking pool, for those who are listening and maybe aren't caught up on the news, basically what Bungie did this week is they pushed the flawless matchmaking pool until Sunday reset. So basically you could play Friday and Saturday, go flawless. You wouldn't get put into the flawless matchmaking pool. That would go live on Sunday, and then if you've gone flawless already, you'll be matched up in that flawless pool. I think that's a fair enough trade.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers last week, I was definitely against it. I said it felt punitive to players who were doing really well, especially at the very beginning of the week. I think this is a fair middle of the ground trade for Bungie to test around with. It gives you 2 days to basically play the game mode, go flawless, carry some of your friends and all of that. And then when Monday rolls around, I love the analogy you brought up with it being kind of like a contest mode.
Yeah.
When Monday rolls around, contest mode for trials goes live. And then those who still want to play and are in the matchmaking or the flawless matchmaking pool can continue to do so. I think, again, Addy, you hit it on the head. Incentive is going to be the name of the game here. There needs to be an incentive for those flawless players to continue playing in that sweatier pool.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be very important for Bungie moving forward. But as we're seeing with the changes this week, they're continuing to iterate on the version of trials that we have right now. They're making changes on the fly on a week-by-week basis. And hopefully we'll be seeing some additional incentives for that flawless player pool moving forward.
Yeah.
I think that'd be, and you know what? It's if they were to say, do what you said, Dan, move the flawless matchmaking to Monday.
Yeah.
So have it all weekend, no flawless matchmaking, but on Monday, flawless matchmaking. And then they add in specific rewards to that matchmaking pool. That also keeps a bunch of people playing, even through on Monday and Tuesday, because there's a chance of getting some of those additional rewards. I think that's probably not a bad idea, to be perfectly honest.
What if? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Spitballing. So the people who participate in that flawless pool, right? The people who participate, the top 10% of those people, not necessarily teams, the top 10% of those players who go into that pool get a buff, much like we did back in Destiny 1, where you got like you got the laurel halo around your head after completing like a nightfall.
Mm-hmm.
Consider like you get something like that, and then the next week you have like your loot pool is just a little bit sweeter. Like you get like it just kind of like multiplies it up a little bit.
How would you make the pool sweeter?
Shit, I don't know, man. That's I'm not a dev.
Guarantee a specific level of high stat armor.
Yeah, something like that, or like maybe like make it so that it's like guaranteed plus 10 resilience armor, or like something
kind of like they do in Vogue.
Yeah,
like the armor piece that you get that drops is guaranteed, like that week is guaranteed to be plus whatever on whatever stat.
Yeah.
Or even just, or I don't know, like if you part of it when you complete a flawless, when you compete in the flawless pool is that you get a guaranteed, working off the back of umbrella engrams, like I got almost like a tier 3.
Yeah.
A tier 3 Miles engram.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
But then you could focus it, like it's almost like you could focus that into what you want it to be.
Yeah.
Like taking a bit of the actual system and putting it into trials for the flawless pool.
Something that's already in the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like we've seen that they're trying to simplify all their systems. They're trying to, and they've been doing that for the past year. Is simplifying all their systems so you know what to expect when you turn something in at a certain vendor or and build that up. I'm looking right now at Trials Report, which maybe now is the best time to transition into like what this week has been. But so looking from week 1 on Burnout, we had 748,000 players and 4.7 million matches, right?
Jeez.
That's for the entire week, right? And then we have week 2 on Distant Shore, 701,000 players and 3.2 million matches, right?
That's a drop.
That's a drop. This week, as of Sunday, we still have 2 more days left of this, Mike.
Right.
But we have 586,000 players and 2.25 million matches. So
definitely
a drip.
That is a drop of like about 1 million, like a little little under 1 million at this
2
time.
days left.
Yeah. So the big thing here is that they not only changed the flawless pool on Sunday, right? They also changed to a
control zone,
to a control mode.
How do we feel about that?
Well, see, I'd be fine with it. I'd be fine with them experimenting with it if it like. It seems like it starts off in the middle of the map on the first round, and then after that it moves to benefit the losing team.
Yeah.
Which also doesn't feel great.
Not a smart idea, I don't think.
Like, yeah, I don't know about that decision, but
it's a great way to keep a game going longer than it probably should.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
think that they tried to combat that with making the round shorter, but it just ends up being
a long drawn out slog fest.
Yep.
Yeah. Like there's some games that end up lasting like 15 minutes and you're like, bruh, what?
Right, because
personally,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if they kept the zone in the same place every round,
Yeah.
it would be much more favorable than what they're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is
Right.
that what you can do is just that your team can go in, beat the other team's asses for 4 rounds, lose the next one, and then what do you know? You've got the cap point in your
You've got
spawn.
the cap
Mhm.
point.
And then you just take up defensive positions. You got your Ward of Dawn, you got your Well,
Yeah.
you got all that kind of stuff. You got Tether, you know. I think that it's definitely bringing out this mode. I think is definitely bringing out the more what people would call cheesier
Yeah.
things to do in PvP. I, you know, and things like I've been seeing a lot of Wither Horde because basically a Wither Horde covers a cap zone.
Covers
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Oh yeah. I've seen Jotun a couple times, which was kind of cool.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I saw Jotun last week too.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, you see.
That was
cheesy shit.
this ensures a sightline map, so yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. And then also you'll see quite a lot is and all I'm gonna do is say Shatter Dive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All 3 of you are on a point.
Just get
And-
together, everybody. There we go.
Yeah, just a little bit. The thing is, right, is that sometimes for quite a few, like for the higher tier, the higher skilled PvP players, they can tell when someone's lining up to do a
Mhm.
Shatter Dive.
Yeah.
Me? Nah.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just like, oh, this hunter's coming in to rush me. He's got a shotgun out. And the next second, oh.
Oops.
Well,
So,
and like, I understand what they're trying to do with it too. They're trying to change the arena of engagement.
Yeah.
Like they want to push that so that you're not always having the same engagement every match.
Every round.
Every
yeah.
round. But
Mhm.
and I think Scarred Excess kind of hits on this. And you have on these maps now. Granted, they're not huge maps because they were like a lot of these were built for like 4v4.
4v4s.
But
yeah.
But for 3v3, they should be large enough that you can kind of move them around. Maybe not vertically, but like, but
I've
more
got
on
the high
like,
ground.
or maybe not horizontally, but like you move it like along the sight line
down.
in the middle, like.
Yeah.
And so, like Scarred Excess says in chat, move the zone, but move it inside, middle, or out. Like this week, you can go down below on the bridge or out on the walkway, and that makes perfect sense because you have 3 different arenas of
They'd be differing
contest.
entirely.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like
Entirely different engagement zones.
mm-hmm.
See, I would agree with that, but there is like, there is a lot of people that will just rush forward and
Yeah,
they'll try and kill you all before you can cap the zone. But I know that quite a few times, especially when I was playing with my friends, is that we'll get to the match point and supers are flying everywhere, and like one of us will manage to get to the cap point and another one will have a super, and it's like, okay, you just use your super, I'll stand on the point.
Yeah.
And I'll get it.
Just scare them away from it.
Just push them away from it. Make sure that they can't come near it. Which is why I don't think this mode works very well with solo players.
mm-hmm.
I think that
Yeah.
if they're gonna have a capture the point kind of style in trials, that would definitely, it would almost 100% of the time benefit more like 3 players who are in a team that can communicate with each other verbally, instead of just 3 randomers, one's running left, one running straight into the sniper zone, and the other one running off right. I feel like it's a good kind of thing to try, but like you guys are saying, like either keep the point directly in middle where it's somewhere that everyone can contest, or up down around the map somewhere not too close to each other's spawn, but like Dan said, just instead of moving it horizontally, move it vertically, make it go down below, make it go inside. Just make sure that it is separate. It's like almost like the same amount of distance from both spawns.
Yeah.
Because
Don't make it advantageous for one spawn.
I don't feel like if you're losing, I don't think it is a good idea to try and give someone a leg up,
Mm-hmm.
because trials is still meant to be competitive.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be, like I said before, aspirational, and giving people the ability to, like, kind of, oh, hey, we've got the, if we throw this round,
Yeah.
then
we
hey,
get the zone.
we
You
can
win.
get the zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah. Also, something that popped up. So they're talking about going into a little bit of the TWAB here. So one of the things that they really wanted to do was to keep solo players playing, right? And they said, we learned a lot from the first 2 weeks of solo matchmaking. Week 1, solo wins were 23% of games. Blowouts, 5-0 losses, 38% of games.
Yeah.
Most worryingly, the blowout rate for solo players went steadily up over the weekend, but then in the second weekend, the matchmaking changes pushed the rate back down. Week 2, solo wins 36% of games, blowouts 5-0 losses were 29% of games. So like a 9% drop. This feels a lot better for solo players, but obviously it has some side effects for fire teams of mid to high skill. Long term, we're looking into keeping the solo win rate above 30% and solo fire team blowouts under 33. Now that's all well and good.
Yeah.
But if you don't have people playing your game mode, like especially if like in this kind of like scenario this week where maybe it's not as friendly to solo players, then you're going to have it's going to be a rough time trying to
have a rough time.
Keep those averages.
I also feel like a lot of solo players who went in like the first couple of weeks got what they wanted out of trials and they won't touch it again.
Yeah.
No, there's like I really think that they should. I think that they should add the reputation track like they have on Vanguard and they have on Crucible and on Drifter. Where you get upgrade modules, enhancement cores, golf balls. If they have something like that, that's going to encourage people to go back in every week. Like personally, sure, you get the engrams dropping from Saint, but what is the point in having reputation points like that if you're not going to add it? Like, I really think adding a track like that will absolutely help them, encourage people to keep coming back.
Right.
Especially if they're like low on materials.
Isn't there already a track like that though? On Saint?
He does have a reward track right now.
Oh, he does have a reward track?
He does have a reward track. Yeah. And
like, better things
it's okay. It's late there. We understand.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. So
we're almost done. Don't worry.
Yeah.
No, I honestly, I honestly, I couldn't remember if he had one or not.
Yeah, they added that in with Zavala. Yeah.
But you're right though. Like, incentive is a big issue there.
So Saint has a reward track?
He does. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's actually something we talked a bit about last week in the notion of we brought up, well, what's going to keep people playing in there after they get their Reed's Regret, after they get their Shayura's Wrath.
Yeah.
And I said, I think I remember us bringing up, there's probably going to be a vendor refresh for Saint 14 somewhere, maybe around the time the 30th anniversary event drops in December.
Yeah.
Because this is going to be a long time to go with him just having the same inventory that he does right now. And we know that there are trials weapons that aren't in his inventory. Astral Horizon isn't there. Summoner's not there. Oddly enough, Summoner is in Zer's inventory, which is weird. He'll be bringing
it?
It is. He's going to bring it at some point. And that's going to be a wild weekend.
That's not going to be a good. No, why?
Yeah. That's going to be a wild weekend. But a question of incentive, keeping those casual players, those solo players, those people who generally before this season have never set foot in trials, keeping them coming back, I think is going to be probably one of the major focuses of Bungie moving forward. They want to keep those people playing. They want to keep them trying out the Trials of Osiris game mode, at least until they can get everything from it. And maybe a vendor refresh, adding in some of those currently unavailable trials weapons is going to be one way to do that. But that's going to be the serious challenge there, because I think you're seeing that. Addie, I think you're 100% right. I think a lot of those people, maybe didn't go flawless, but they got a bunch of wins on week 1 and week 2, got their gear and said, "Oh, okay, well I've got this awesome SMG now. I don't need to play trials anymore."
It's all about getting the right roles as well. Like, see,
Yeah.
if I could, I have really good RNG, so when I get something that's,
Way to brag, Addy.
well, listen, okay, I had one of my friends shouting at me because I had an Azumi Adept in my vault that was Snapshot Vorpal. And
Of course it was.
Of course it was. See, that's what you get when you become a Twitch partner. Better RNG.
That's it. It's in the contract.
Mm-hmm.
That purchase gets unlocked.
I talked to Bungie and I was like, hey,
Hey, Bunge.
Hey, Bunge. I mean, it's give me the good RNG. Give me the good shit. Come on now.
Flip the switch. Oh. What she didn't mention is that it was her first drop.
Shut up, Fury.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
See, I just want Lachlan to like me, and you've just gone and fucked it up for me, Fury. God damn it.
I feel like I've as a primarily solo player, I've been enjoying my time going in and playing. I don't have time to hop in on the weekends. I just don't. I do have time on Mondays and Tuesdays occasionally, and so like I have been hopping in for like the past like couple weeks.
Same.
And what you're saying is true. Like some of the solo players, our friend Nim, he got all of the armor set like off the rip the first week, right?
It's like I'm done.
Yeah, he doesn't need to go back in anymore.
Yeah,
but
my goodness.
For me, I'm looking for. I want a good Shirai's Wrath. I want a good Reed's Regret because that thing has some damage output capabilities of PvE that seem nutty.
A little nutty. A little nutty.
And yeah, like I'm searching for things like that. I think maybe your average solo player, yeah, they probably will end up dipping out fairly early. And last week when we saw the slump, we were like, how much of this is a natural decline versus, the flawless pool or like some sort of protest against what was going on in the game mode.
Right.
But yeah, I just I don't know. I then again, I'm not your average player.
Right.
Which I don't know why I said that in such a way that it sounded like a brag.
Listen, you're Calzone Dan. You're that good. You are in the 1%.
But yeah, I don't know. It just feels like I'm really liking the changes to trials. I never thought I'd be a trials guy, but like here I am.
Right.
2 weeks in, haven't the time of my life. Haven't tried it this week. The control point thing really didn't like interest me. I don't know. If I want that, I'll just play Iron Banner next week. Which I think is the big deal there. Outside of that, I really like this week's TWAB. They did talk. They said they talked about the things that worked, right? So they want to keep keeping the game quality high, keep matchmaking times low, and they had over 700K players on week 2, only 50K fewer than week 1. It was higher than expected given a normal drop-off after launch, combined with Distant Shore being a less popular map. Plus, we had 253 players go flawless. Like that, it's kind of nutty. Games were 10% longer, mostly due to more competitive games. This section right here, I think, is the most important out of the entire top section that Cosmo wrote. Is like things that didn't work. We saw 34% less matches played overall. And the number of matches post-flawless dropped by 45%. We had reports of significant numbers of players resetting 5-0 or 6-0 cards, but we saw around 16K total cards that were reset while flawless, but under 7 wins. Given the vast number of games and the cards played, 2.7 million cards started this week, This isn't a lot, but it is something that we are watching as it is unhealthy for the mode if it becomes more common. And the final tick there was normally we see nearly 50% of the players who go flawless doing so with someone else who is already flawless. Last week, it was 56%. This can either be a traditional carry or just by playing with friends. That number dropped to 16%.
Yeah.
On week 2.
It's a huge
40% drop.
Unacceptably low for a friend game content. As they call it.
So the two big statistics there are that last one, that 40% drop in people who were going flawless with somebody who was already flawless.
Yeah.
And of course, post-flawless matches dropping by 45%.
Yeah.
That is a massive, massive drop in post-flawless games. It meant people were going flawless and then they stopped playing.
Yeah.
As opposed to week 1 where they were continuing their games after going flawless to farm adepts and all that kind of stuff. And of course, a lot of that had to do with the flawless matchmaking. But it's something we brought up earlier in the show in that there should probably be more incentives for people to go flawless and to keep playing after going flawless. And that's something that I hope Bungie approaches moving forward. But those two statistics there were pretty worrying. In that it's not exactly the direction I think Bungie wants to go, in that people just going flawless and stopping, not playing any more of trials for the weekend. And I wonder what they're going to do about it. Because that's...
Yeah.
Of all the positive statistics we got, those were two pretty big, pretty heavy, or heavily negative ones.
Yeah.
And, that's something that's got to be addressed.
Yeah. So...
And, I think when we get the numbers for this week, because there's no doubt we're not... I think they said this is going to be the last really heavy trials-focused TWAB we get. But we're probably going to get numbers this week for how things panned out. I'd imagine moving the flawless matchmaking pool to Sunday has helped with that.
Yeah.
Because it gave people a reason to play all of Friday and all of Saturday before the matchmaking pool went live. So hopefully we'll see some improvements.
Yeah. I know we're not going to be seeing any changes this week when it comes to the matchmaking counter being removed. I think they said it wasn't ready for this past week. But
we're not going to have trials this week anyway.
So. Oh yeah. I fucking love that decision. We're having Iron Banner this week.
Absolutely.
We have Iron Banner this week. Trials is going to go sit it out for a while for just a weekend, and then
Trials needs a rest.
Yeah. And that way, you've recovered from your Trials hangover, and hopefully, then the following week you enjoy it more. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's something that's I'm looking forward to seeing if they add. I would love to see that just as a permanent segment of the TWAB, of just a section.
Trials.
Yeah. Just
here's numbers.
Yeah, here's some numbers for this week. Here's what they mean to us, and here's what we plan on fixing and what we plan on changing. You do that right before the hotfix section.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think having a little PvP focus section in the TWAB is a really good idea, even if it's just hey, this was the statistics. This is what we're looking at, and just if that's part of the renewed PvP focus, then 100% for it.
Thumbs up.
The PvP community doesn't just need updates to the game in general. Having something like the updates in TWAB and stuff like that will make the PvP community feel a bit more listened to and feel a bit more included all in all, because there's always been this kind of divide between PvE and PvP. We all say I'm a PvEer, they're a PvPer. We're all still playing the game that we all know and love, and I think PvP just needs a little bit more recognition in things like the TWAB for that.
Yeah,
completely agree.
It puts a spotlight on that community.
Yeah,
and conversation going.
One that I think the PvE community has quite a bit of, in every TWAB, just about.
Every TWAB.
Another thing that was brought up this week, we got the Thread magazine. That's
really
neat.
Cool.
Yeah, that was Radish
neat.
at Threads of Light. That's so cool. I have a few designs that I'm going to be casting out there and seeing how they do. But
Right, because that heralded in another Fashion Week contest that Bungie's going to be having, I think, going until September 30th.
Mm-hmm.
30th,
So,
yeah.
on Instagram and Twitter, you can send them pictures of your Guardian and the armors and whatnot that you choose, and get access to a fashion emblem.
My hunter do be looking ready for winter, so.
Ooh,
Heck yeah.
I mean,
good stuff.
I'm a warlock main, but like my hunter is where
What's your
my fashion
hunter?
game is the strongest.
Looking good.
That I actually like this season. One of my favorite things about this season is actually the armor. The armor looks
It looks
really
good.
It's so
It
good.
looks really good.
Yeah.
Like the warlock stuff is mwah.
The hunter helmet is like
Yeah.
it's I've been telling my buddy Mosh had it on his hunter, and I put it on my hunter as well, because it shades crazy, and the eyelets
Yeah.
are just like the most anime fucking thing. And it's just like so weeby, and so he showed me his character, and he's got the weeb helmet on. He's got like just a short hood with no cape, and he's got all these knives off to the right of his leg. And I was like, I joined the Assassin's Academy to be the very best. And he was like very upset with me.
That was very animated.
Yeah. Thank you. I've been watching My Hero Academia.
Excellent work.
Thank you.
I'm
But yeah,
not much of an
looks
anime
this
person.
season are fantastic. They like the seasonal armor, the ornaments you can get for it.
Yeah.
A lot of it's really
Yeah.
top tier stuff.
Yeah.
I definitely dig it.
Yeah, so we had that. I'm trying to troll through here to see what else, if anything.
I think the only other thing was just there's new Twitch Prime Gaming rewards, which is neat.
Yeah, yeah. Which, good luck, have fun.
Yeah, go get your go shard your free Eververse stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was it.
Shards.
That was
Be
it for the
shards.
news and the twab. But yeah,
Well, all right. I guess that takes us to audience questions then, huh?
I believe so.
Oh, well, actually, I guess I said we talk about it at the start of the show. Really quickly. Who here has gotten Ager Scepter's Catalyst?
This guy.
Okay,
This
so
nerd
it's you
right
and
here.
me?
Yep, just
Addy,
you and me.
you gotta get it.
You gotta get it.
You got it, Addy. You
We
gotta
did the same
get
thing
it.
to Drago last week. We basically bullied him,
yeah.
and we were like, "You gotta go get it. You gotta
Gotta
go get
go
it."
Gotta get it. It is stupidly good.
Oh yeah.
To give a quick rundown to the people, since it was technically spoilers last week, so we didn't tell people what it did.
Yeah.
What it did, or you get it from Astral Alignment.
Mhm.
I know.
Uh-huh.
Just suffer through
So-
it.
So, and it's not a guaranteed drop either.
It's not
It's
a
not.
guaranteed drop. It took me like 8 or 9 runs to finally get it.
About the same for me too. Like,
Nah.
as far as I know, you don't have to be wearing it in order for it to
Yeah.
drop. It
Yeah, I
can-
wasn't wearing it.
Yeah, you can just go and run them. But I think it's only guaranteed that 2 can drop each run at max.
Is that it?
I think so. That's what somebody
that might
told
be
me.
why it's so bad.
That's what somebody told me. It could be like old wives' tales when it when it comes to it. You know what I mean?
I don't know. When I'm thinking about when it dropped for me, it did only drop for me and one other person. I remember the clip. It was only me and one other person.
That might be confirmation bias, though.
That's good enough for me.
See, now what you could do there, right,
Yeah.
is that you could have 6 of your friends run Astral Alignment
Yeah.
with you, right, and the 2 people who don't have it,
Yeah.
right, and just when you're about to kill the boss, 4 of them leave.
Yeah, get out.
So here's the thing,
Just get
though.
out. I want my catalyst.
Furiyama45 in chat said 3 dropped on the run. I got mine. So that's immediately thrown out the window.
God damn it, Fury, go away!
Thank you, Fury.
Thank
No,
you.
go away, Fury.
Thank you for doing the Iron Lord's work. Because I
There we
wasn't
go.
about to.
Don't worry. I'm not just telling a randomer to go away. Fury is
No,
one
it's
of my
it's
mods,
completely it.
so.
Addy, you tell whoever you want to go away, and I'll do it.
Right. But it is very powerful.
Yeah.
It basically it gives itself a secondary firing mode whenever you have a full super that gives it an 80% damage buff and
Ooh.
causes it to deal stasis status effects much more quickly. So doing 1 or 2 ticks of damage will immediately freeze whatever you're shooting at. Don't
It's
even have to
dumb.
kill anymore. You just
very
hit
dumb.
it once or twice, they freeze. It is it's very, very powerful. And when you mix it in with some of the stasis mods and builds that we have right now, like we got Elemental Shards live on Friday after Bungie pushed out that hotfix. Oh boy! Elemental Shards is a busted mod. It makes it so that every stasis shard you pick up acts as a stasis elemental well. So you can use it to activate or stuff like Font of Might, Font of Wisdom. You can use it to basically give yourself ability energy back. And
I need to.
there's some builds you can run right now when you mix in stuff like or mods like Dynamo and whatnot, where you can activate the super drain for Ager Scepter and then kill stuff fast enough that you regenerate your super faster than you're losing it.
Oh boy.
So you can just keep the super beam up for, I think the longest I was able to
Keep it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
You were gonna say keep it
longest
up.
I was able to keep it
Yeah.
up was over 5
Yeah.
minutes.
Hey!
Over 5 minutes. So
Another 2 pump over here. Let's go.
no, that more like
He's
a
a
6
3
pump.
pump.
No, it's 6. It's just 6 really fast pumps with Ager Scepter, baby.
He got the add-on from the compass so that
Yeah.
so it lasts twice as long.
Goes a
that
little bit
blue?
longer.
Anyways,
Stasis time dilation works for everything, boys. Get it going. But yeah, like it's a little bit ludicrous. As long as you're in a situation where there's enough enemies around you, you can keep that enhanced super beam up for quite some time. It's
Enhanced
really, really
super
powerful.
beam.
Moon's gonna love this episode.
I stand by it.
Oh,
GBL and I approve this message. 100%.
I approve it too.
You can put my name next to the quote. I kept it up for 5 whole minutes.
That's gonna be on the YouTube thumbnail.
do it. Do it.
Nice.
Oh boy.
But yeah, it's worthwhile. It's definitely worth getting.
So I'll have to
Yes.
definitely try and.
I'm sorry.
Astral
I'm
Alignment.
so sorry.
You gotta do it, Eddie. Just do it.
Just gotta do it.
See if I get it on my first one. I'm just gonna at you both on Twitter. Just like,
Please do.
I
Please
won't
do.
be mad about that. That'll be okay.
Please
Because
do.
I know you won't. Then you won't have to suffer.
That'll be the day
Yeah.
that I block Roboticadi.
Robotic.
Robotic. That's the day
Toxic.
that I block her. That's it. That's it, chat.
That's
Friendship
over.
over. All right.
My heart.
Shall we get
Words hurt.
into some audience questions?
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
do it.
Starting off, real easy. Real softball question.
Oh.
Silly question. Candy corn or cilantro? Do you love them
What?
or do you ditch them? So, do you enjoy candy corn? Do you enjoy cilantro? I believe those are two separate questions.
Yeah.
So we
Do
don't
you
have
get-
candy corn
Do you keep it
in the
or
US. In the
ditch
UK.
it? You are so lucky, Addie.
Oh,
What's the second one?
Cilantro.
What is it?
What do you call it in the UK? You guys call it something else. Oh my
What is
god. You added to tacos.
yeah. It goes on tacos.
Goes in tacos. Oh my
Some
god.
other
Okay, so-
things.
Hang on. Let me just
It's,
show
it's
it.
the Chinese parsley, baby.
No.
Come on.
What's it?
Coriander.
Coriander.
Oh
There you go.
yeah, that is it.
All right.
Eh,
Eh?
eh.
Does it taste like soap
It's
to you?
leafy. I mean, I think the only time I've ever really come into contact with coriander
Yeah.
is when I've been to a restaurant and they put a little bit of it on top of your tomato soup.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
Yeah. That's it.
Garnish.
I pick that bitch out and put it to the side.
Oh,
Ain't no leafy green coming near my tomato soup.
gotcha. Gotcha. I had
Well-
a nephew like that. He almost cut his leg off with a chainsaw.
Ooh.
Those two things are not tied together at all.
I was gonna say, like, I haven't been near a chainsaw. My legs are fine. What are you
Interesting things
trying
to
to
glean
him?
from that.
There was no connection. I'm just saying, it's like
No
my
connection.
nephew who did that
Interesting.
also doesn't like other food touching his food. But go on.
Right, listen here, right? It's not that I don't like it touching. It's just it's a leafy green that doesn't deserve to be there on top of
Doesn't
delicious
belong.
tomato soup.
I gotcha. I understand. So, but you don't have candy corn.
No.
They're so lucky.
I like candy corn.
Oh my god.
Maybe I'm just that
TBL.
weird old man. I like both cilantro and candy corn.
I love cilantro, but no.
Like, I'm not gonna. If you had a bowl of candy in front of me, I'm not gonna pick up the candy corn.
No,
I'm gonna go for the king size.
Never
Reese's.
a first option.
It's not the first option, but when Halloween rolls around, I'll eat candy corn. So you go to your local Walgreens or CVS, and they got the bag of like that pumpkin shaped candy corn. I'll pick up a bag and eat them. They're 99 cents. I don't hate candy corn.
I'm so upset by this. I don't know why I'm so upset by this, but I am.
I've upset Calzone Dan.
Yeah.
I failed you.
TBL, press your hand to your screen.
I failed my favorite Dan.
It's
I'm
okay,
sorry.
buddy. It's fine.
I'm not mad.
I'm not mad
just
either.
disappointed.
Same. Big same. Anyways. Yeah, we had that conversation in chat, and it reminded me of the Lewis Black joke in which he said that there was only ever one batch of candy corn ever made, and they haven't made any more.
No.
That's it. They just made one batch, and that is all you have historically. Ugh. So gross. Moving on. Austin 8 or V2 games. So off of the dialogue between Glint and Marasov, some lore stuff, do we think Spider is going to die in the coming weeks or flee away to where else?
I think Mara's gonna attempt to kill him.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Or make him disappear. Her response to Glint's answer to her question, it was like, that's Mama Mara out, and she is not here to play. She is going to take his arms one by one.
She is not pleased with the treatment of her brother.
I would be, honestly, like when we found out when our characters found out what he had done to Pro, I was about ready to go in there and jump all over his face with steel. Just like,
yeah.
Okay, this relationship is no longer cost benefit analysis.
Yeah.
I think I will go to someone else to exchange my things for Glimmer.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if they moved that off to like Zur or something at this point. We're just
I can see that.
It's only available for like a certain amount of days. And like you have to go visit him. It would probably raise the numbers up for the amount of people who go to visit him as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree with Fury in chat. He's like, Spider's too resourceful. He's getting away. He's definitely getting away.
He is very resourceful, and I like his character. The idea of this weird mob boss in Destiny.
He's absolutely a mob boss. Yeah,
he's a mob boss, and he's got some of the funniest lore in the franchise. Like the dude has, I think he's got the Mona Lisa and a bunch of other really famous human art pieces in his little vault there where he stays on the Tangled Shore. And he doesn't like people going into his art showcase, but it'd be interesting to see them try to get rid of him. But yeah, Mara's pissed at him. There's no doubt in that. Mara is aiming some very sizable guns in his direction, and rightfully so.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Going back to our trials discussion, Gray Fox asks, with about a month of trials about locked in, how are we feeling about the whole trials revamp so far?
Much better than what it was pre-revamp.
Yeah, much better than last season.
It actually has a goal to it.
I think that's I think that goes hand in hand with the fact that we've got no cheaters. Very, very, very few cheaters.
Yeah.
I don't think we should owe all of the enjoyment just of trials to just the revamp. I think that the fact that they tackled a huge thing that was putting people off of trials, that's a huge thing too.
Yeah, absolutely. But even with some of the things we were feeling about, Control Zone and last week, I was certainly a little more salty about the flawless pool. Even with all that included, Trials right now is so much better. So much better than it's ever been in D2's history. So I'm still pretty jazzed on it. Looking forward to seeing what else they're going to do with the game mode.
Yeah. We talked about this last week too. But like they're making a lot of moves really quickly.
A lot of moves.
It just feels like maybe they're able to get a sample size that is like hugely testable because of the sheer size of the community now. We're now like I think it's a number 3 game on Steam. Is that right?
Yeah.
That was this
Yeah,
week?
the number 3.
So that speaks to kind of the size of the community now. Whether they're big in the overall like chatting community or like or just playing the game. That speaks to how many people play this game. And I think that's something to remember when we talk about sample sizes for their testing and stuff going on. This week is a test of a game mode that we haven't seen in Trials before, and maybe they'll get enough out of it where they'll like, we'll never do that again, or maybe we do this again with something else, and try for it that way. Either way, I think the evidence of how much they're caring for Trials now versus where we were even a month ago is huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think for a lot of people, especially those who walked away from the game entirely because Trials was their life, they were like, Bungie kind of has to put their money where their mouth is when it came to their renewed focus, because they'd heard that before. And I feel like we're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Final question of the evening comes from Schmitty74. Would you like it if they had ranks in PvP to help separate the best from the average? I'm guessing that he's talking about like Trials as well, maybe as well as a competitive game mode or playlist, because they originally spoke on they originally asked a question about Trials.
Yeah. I think but they should just revamp the comp playlist and make it something actually worth running and make it actually representative of a player's skill. The way the comp playlist works right now is a little confusing to me. There's not really too much of a reason to actually run it. There's no incentive to run it, and getting to legend in it doesn't really kind of jive in the type of ranking system that I think a lot of players are looking for. Bungie had a fantastic ranking system with the Halo games. There was a ranked game mode where you could go and continually rise in the ranks and show that off for other people. I think that's essentially what they need to do with the comp playlist. Make it so that the ranks go indefinitely if you want it to, and have that be the kind of show off moniker that you can display to other people.
How high can you go?
Yeah, how high can you go? How big can you get the number?
I want to be the very best, like no one ever was.
Yeah, I think that was a system that worked for Halo. It's worked for other FPS games, and there is absolutely a subset of the PvP population out there that wants that sort of thing. They want a ranked mode to go and play in. They want to play against the best of the best. They want to be recognized as the best of the best. I think revamp the comp playlist and do that with it.
Yep.
I think ranks would definitely be an interesting way to kind of. It would almost be like the flawless matchmaking pool, but like in PvP in comp. I think that would. The only thing is obviously there's going to be people who are going to be more interested in. There's only going to be a select few that are going to be interested in the higher ranks, but at the same time, it will give PvPers something to do during the week when Trials isn't around, or even Iron Banner. Like, if they don't want to go into 6s and Iron Banner and all that kind of stuff, you definitely have something that would incentivize them to grind the game a bit more.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, I'm 100% of the fact that you don't need, although I know a lot of us do it, you don't need to play Destiny every single day.
Nope. You don't. You don't.
Not a necessity.
You do not need to play it every single day. I promise.
You don't.
Are you still going to do it?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Yeah. like you should be in the corner of shame there, Dan. Just
I'm probably gonna play it tomorrow too, Addie.
Probably gonna. I got no reason to. I probably will.
I have a podcast to edit. I got to do something during that.
Yep. Back to Legend Lost Sectors I go.
But if there was a ranking system or something like that, it would definitely give people a lot more incentive with rewards to go along with it. It would definitely hell, even bring out a really cool Crucible only ship.
Yeah.
And like Ghost and something that's kind of that. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Or even just like when you get to a certain rank in PvP, you get a specialized emote that only those people can have. Just something to add a bit more life into the comp playlist. Yeah, I don't know I don't think Trials should have a ranked system. Only because that divides. You've only got a certain amount of the player base that will actually go in and play Trials in the first place. Having a ranked system will do the same thing that we talked about earlier. It will definitely divide the player base. Or unless they had so say Team 1 is rank 2 and Team B is rank 4, right? Team A is matchmaking, they can't find anything, and so the matchmaking pool widens out a little bit more, and then that's when the rank 4 come in. Maybe that would kind of work, but I think that would add just an extra layer to Trials that Trials doesn't need. Comp, yes, absolutely. I mean, we all know that Clash and Control 6v6s is just literally just go in and shoot stuff, and that's about
it.
Shoot,
you're fine.
Yeah. Comp, I think, should be treated as the starting ground. Some people should if they want to get better at PvP and eventually go into Trials and then into the flawless Trials and stuff like that.
Yep.
Comp is definitely the starting point.
You want to go test yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Having a ranked system would make it a little bit even if it's you're rank 2 and you're put into the matchmaking pool with rank 3s. Right? Because then you're facing people that might actually be slightly better than you. You don't know, but they could actually be slightly better than you. Not only are you then learning to be a little bit, you're learning to combat people who might be a little bit better than you and, pull off some really cool saves and stuff like that. It gives you the practice as well, I think, personally.
Yeah. Agreed.
Went in a bit of a tangent.
Yeah. There used to be this thing called Destiny Clan Wars back in the day. Way back in Destiny 1, and then eventually the first part of Destiny 2, where it was a ranking system where you'd have to do certain things during Iron Banner or in a certain playlist.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun, and it was just bragging rights stuff. I think competitive, knowing the people that I know that go into the competitive playlist a lot, some bragging rights is probably kind of nice for that kind of game mode, and would breed people going in and jumping. Hell, you still have people playing Master Chief Collection for for that ranking. You breed a community that's into that, and they will show up and they will start stomping on each other until they're the very best. And I think that is something that, well, maybe not the most mentally healthy, is healthy for playlists and for a subsection
audience
of the community.
Yeah. There's an audience for that.
Yeah, and I wasn't thinking of that specifically, but also think of the amount of people who are you know what? I'm gonna watch Addie, because she's she's ranked like top 10% in the world, and she's gonna like try to rocket to like top 5%,
Yeah.
like in the next month. And so that is something that can create like an aspirational goal without necessarily having like maybe an aspirational like loot grind behind it.
Right.
So
No, I completely agree. I think that you hit the nail on the head. Build it, give people a reason to go in there, and they'll do it.
yeah.
They'll do it.
Absolutely.
You guys ever seen Field of Dreams?
If you build it.
I've never seen that movie in my life. I just know
Oh
that
my
one
goodness.
bit about
Oh.
it. I just know that one bit.
That's okay. You'll watch it someday. Or
Maybe
not.
not. I don't know. I'm very conflicted about Kevin Costner.
How do you feel about baseball?
I like baseball.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, all right. Is that's all the questions we got?
Those are all the questions fit to print.
Well, all right then, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe that brings us to the end of episode 295 of the Planet Destiny podcast. Another one down into the record books. By the way, Smitty is right. Go watch it, Dan. It's a good movie.
We'll see. I got things to catch up on.
That means no. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. This has been a fantastic episode, and very special thanks to our special guest, Roboticadi. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
No, thank you for having me.
Sorry to keep you so
Really
late.
No, you're fine. Don't worry. Don't worry about it.
It was a pleasure to have you here, and definitely looking forward to having you back.
It'll be great fun. Definitely.
Right on. Before we get on out of here, we do want to give you an opportunity to allow you to take the floor and tell everybody where they can find you all across the internet, so they can tune in after you've gone to sleep, gotten enough sleep, and then gotten up to stream again.
Yes.
Well, you can find me. First of all, my social is twitter.com/roboticadi. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/roboticadi. I'm also on TikTok, and I had a video do very well. I guessed eyes in Riven, and
I
did
forgot about that video. That's crazy.
it was a nuts time. So obviously on TikTok, I think it's like, what is it, tiktok.com or something like that, and then
There's some sort of
/
weird,
Roboticadi.
yeah, there's some sort of
Nah.
weird
URLs. How do they work?
Well, just search Roboticadi on TikTok and you'll get me there too.
Yeah.
Schedule is a bit up and down right now with Willow being off school and everything, but most nights right now I will be on the Twitch doing the PvE things and helping out. So, yeah, you can find me there. I also have a
Right on.
YouTube, but I never use that, so.
Who does? I love you, YouTube. Sometimes I love you. Make sure you guys go check out Addy. Show some love. Hit up that TikTok because, man, everybody's going to TikTok.
It's great
crazy.
fun. I
It's-
lose
yeah.
hours.
It's too, from a content perspective, it's too easy. Like it's
I like
such
that. It's too easy.
It's such a no-brainer to just cut up your clips and just toss it out there and see what happens.
It literally takes me like 5 minutes to edit a clip together, and
Right.
then it's up on TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not even. Just boom, 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 up it goes, and then you see how well it does.
Yeah. Sometimes does fairly well. Other
Pretty well.
times, not so well.
Not so well. No, I've got, so when I look at my TikTok, I've got one that's had like maybe like 600 views, and then
Yeah.
I look at the Riven one, which is like 82.7k.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's just crazy the amount of eyes that can see
No
it.
rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you guys head over to TikTok and check them all out. As for us, Dan, where are you?
Oh, hi. My name's Danfinity. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Danfinity or the Eyes or Else. You can also find me on Twitch 3 days a week, twitch.tv/Danfinity, where the eyes are eyes. You can also join the community Discord. That's right. I damn well said it. Discord.gg/Danfinity, where the eyes are eyes. I got that one, you son of a bitch. And
No substitute letters.
no substitute letters. And yeah, hop in there. We do PvE helps a lot. Helped a team out today. Some of them, it was their first go at Vex. Some of them, it was their first go at Vault of Glass. It was a lot of fun. I had a blast. So far this season, I've got numbers somewhere. We've helped basically 2 of each weapon, except for 1K. We've helped 2 people get each of those weapons. So,
Eyes of Tomorrow and Vex.
Eyes of Tomorrow, Vex, and Divinity. We helped a double Divinity run. That was kind of nice.
Div
So,
run?
yeah, it was the
Spicy.
quickest Divinity run I've ever had. It was like
Okay.
it was like sub an hour and a half. I was like,
Not bad at all.
how are we getting these puzzles down so quick? This is not natural. I am waiting
Pretty good at it.
waiting for the brick to the head at some point, and it never happens.
Right on.
Yeah.
Of
What about you,
course.
TBL?
Well, I mean, me.
Yeah,
My
what
name's
about you?
Blacklink. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet: Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all at the Blacklink. Gonna be more of the same this week. All the news videos go up, of course, on the Planet Destiny YouTube channel at youtube.com/Planet Destiny. If we stream, we stream. If we don't, we don't. That's kind of the way it goes now. But that's pretty much it for episode 295 of the Planet Destiny podcast, your guide to This Week in Destiny. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you all next week. Bye, everybody.